So while many of you are sharing, your health challenges that have kind of, made you look for solutions, and that's why you're here in today's webinar as well. What I want to focus on today is the reason why gut health is important. Okay. And my hope is that by the end of this workshop, you will be able to understand the connections between gut health and the rest of your body. Okay. The various symptoms, various diagnoses that you might have, how your digestive system is possibly impacting those problems as well. Okay. So let me tell you in short the summary of the entire workshop. Your gut is the center of good health or bad health in the body, both ways. Okay, it's our choice. If your gut is good, it's very difficult for you to have any significant health issues. Okay, you can have some issues here and there, but major chronic issues, it's very difficult for you to develop if your gut is really in good health. Okay, and the other side is also true that once your gut health is not good, you can develop any issues in the body anywhere. Okay, because the gut is so important. We will look at why that is so. Okay. So, once again, you can see a lot of different types of health issues, chronic health issues on your screen in this slide. Almost all of them have a major component of gut health or dysfunction behind them. Okay. Conditions as diverse as PCOS and all, to issues like sinus or depression and all. We have worked on the digestive system for people, and in 2 months, 3 months, 70-80% of the problem is gone. Problems that they had struggled with for years, sometimes even decades. Okay, that is how important the gut health is. I won't go into details here because, anyways, the whole workshop is about the importance of gut health. So, a lot of our work is actually with autoimmune conditions. So it doesn't matter which is your autoimmune condition. Most of them have their origin in the gut. Can somebody tell me in the chat why is the gut so important, especially for immune system? Anybody understands? Quickly in the chat. See, we can't unmute everyone. It will be too chaotic and difficult, right? So many people speaking at the same time. So you have to interact with us in the chat. That's the only option, isn't it? Shubham is saying leaky gut, and Garima is saying good and bacteria live there. Okay, body gets all the nutrients from the gut. All of these points are correct. All three of you, whatever you said is correct, but that's not the main story. The main story is that your immune system also lives in the gut. Almost 80% of your total immune cells are found in the lining of your intestines. And if the gut is not in good health, your immune system is unlikely to be in good health. And here we are talking about autoimmune conditions in this slide, right? So that is the single most important thing that you need to remember. Now, unfortunately, Dr. Ruhi's internet connection is really, we're not able to make it work today. She is a conventionally trained doctor who's additionally, done her specialization in global health. She's studied and worked outside India, and she's been practicing in India for many years. Her own personal health issues actually, made her look for solutions when she found that the conventional system is not really able to solve her problems, and that's how she came across functional medicine. She is the co-founder of the Functional Medicine Institute, Functional Medicine Clinic. She is also the co-founder of the Indian Association of Functional Medicine. Now, I am not a doctor. I'm a health coach. I've done my MBA, worked in the corporate sector for more than a decade. But I realized that my passion is not there. I mean, I'm earning good money, all that is fine, but it's not really giving me much satisfaction. So it was 2013 when I quit my corporate career and jumped into this field of health and wellness. I also have had a very deep interest in spirituality and yoga. I have been pursuing yogic practices of a spiritual nature, not the physical practices just for physical health. For more than 21 years now, I have also taught yoga full time to at least 1,500 people or more. And since 2018-19, I have been practicing functional medicine. I think it was almost 4 years now when myself and Dr. Ruhi, we, you know, launched the Hormone Reset program. And through the Hormone Reset program, also we have been able to touch and transform, I would say, around 1,500 lives, mostly women, but also, their husbands, their children, etc. And it's been a very, very fulfilling journey because, you know, uh, in yoga, we always, kind of think like this, that your life is meaningful only if you're able to touch other lives, right? So that is definitely an opportunity that we are really grateful to have through this wonderful tool, wonderful approach called functional medicine. So without much ado, let's dive into today's session. Okay. Now, there are many different types of gut issues that are possible. In today's session, we'll be kind of focusing on the ones mentioned on your screen, which are the most common and most kind of difficult to handle also, for most people. So what is GERD? How many of you know what is GERD? Or rather, let me ask the other question. How many of you have GERD? You can just reply in the chat with a me. You can say I or me if you have. If you have it right now, or you used to have it, or you have it once in a while, you can reply in the chat, please. Hmm? So Meeta is asking, I'm not able to understand leaky gut. So we'll talk about that, Meeta. Hopefully you will have a little better understanding by the end of this session. I am not seeing any replies in the chat. I hope you are able to hear me at least. Because if nobody replies, I'm wondering if you can hear me or not. Okay, I get one reply from Rupa and Ashish. Okay. Very common issues like. So what is GERD? Essentially the contents of the stomach coming up into the esophagus, into the food pipe, right? And obviously that's a very uncomfortable thing. Uh, it also can cause a lot of burning and pain. Now, most of the time, this is addressed by the system, by the conventional system through antacids. Okay, which means that the thought process is that there was extra acid. Okay, GERD almost never happens because of extra acid. It can happen because of less acid, low stomach acid, because then the trigger to close, the stimulus to close the valve is weak, so the valve may not close. Okay, and when you eat too many refined carbohydrates, then the bacteria present in the stomach, bacteria are also overgrowing in the stomach because the acid is low. If there is strong acid, it will kill most of the bacteria, right? So this extra bacteria will ferment the carbohydrates, which means gas will be produced and the pressure will increase. When the pressure increase, it can blow open the valve and contents will come up into the esophagus. So that is one mechanism. There are other mechanisms also. For example, certain deficiencies or low levels of nutrients like magnesium can weaken the valve and very easily contents can come up. If your immune system is overreacting, it is reacting to certain food items, food sensitivities or allergies, that can also trigger acid reflux. It is never because of extra acid. So taking antacids is the wrong thing to do. Only thing it does is it neutralizes the acid, so you don't feel the discomfort of the burning and all, which is otherwise created by the acid. Okay, that's the only thing it does. But that's the last thing you want in your life, that you are not able to digest the food. Yes or no? Are you able to understand this? Why it's important to not disable the acid in the stomach? Hmm? Because if you don't digest your food, how are you going to live? I mean, I'm obviously stretching it to an extreme, obviously, right? But between here and there's a lot of problems that you end up with, right? You don't digest the food properly, you are going to be undernourished. and undigested food is going to be eaten by the bacteria who live in the digestive system, and they will grow, right? They will multiply. And if the unfriendly bacteria multiply, it's a bigger problem. So it basically, domino effect. First domino falls, then the next, and they just go on falling. So low stomach acid is that first domino. If you allow this to fall, many other problems can come downstream. And these problems need not be limited to your digestive system. They can happen anywhere. Okay. So that is how important stomach acid is. And GERD is often a sign of low acid, not high acid. So here are some reasons, root causes of low GERD, low stomach acid. Untimely opening of the valve, which is known as LES. Okay. Or the valve becoming weak, as I said, because of certain nutrients not being available. Because of the gas in the stomach, there can be more pressure, which blows open the valve. And this extra pressure is often caused by bacterial overgrowth. The extra bacteria are now fermenting the carbohydrates very quickly, and gas is being produced. It could be bacterial or even fungal. And generally, carbohydrates cause more of this problem. For some people, it could also be triggered by spices and all. Generally, if it is triggered by spices and all, that means that the coating of mucus in your stomach is low. Your stomach should have a thick coating of mucus to protect the stomach from the acid in the stomach, right? If that becomes low, then the spices will go and irritate the stomach lining. When that irritation happens, then all these reactions can happen in the stomach, because the stomach is trying to get rid of the stuff, whatever is there. And very often the immune system gets involved and starts reacting to the bacteria overgrowth or to undigested carbohydrates, etc. And that also leads to GERD. So what should be the solution? We'll anyways look at the solution to all the health issues connected to the system later, but very simply put, the solution cannot be further reducing acid, isn't it? You may feel a temporary relief by that method, but you will actually increase your problems. Yes or no? You're able to at least understand this much? Now, next would be IBS, right? Irritable bowel syndrome. Now, generally, it affects the large intestine for most people, and the symptoms could be pain, cramping, bloating, excessive formation of gas. It could be diarrhea, it could be constipation, or it could be swinging from one to the other. Okay, so IBS could be IBS-C, IBS-D, or M. M is mixed, right? And one of the symptoms could also be excessive mucus in the stool, etc. Right? So again, what are the reasons behind IBS? In IBS, again, it's not generally what is considered. You go to doctors, they will do endoscopy and all, colonoscopy, to see if there is any structural issues. And 99% of the time, the answer is negative. There is no structural issue, but still the symptoms continue, right? So the issues are not structural; they are functional in nature. They could be triggered. The most common reason is overgrowth of bacteria, microflora imbalance, unfriendly species overgrow. Okay, and when they overgrow, the body reacts to that overgrowth. The immune system reacts to that overgrowth, and that leads to the problems. That leads to the symptoms, right? When these overgrowths happen, when the immune system is reacting, it's very easy for inflammation to happen in the intestine, in the colon, in the large intestine. And that inflammation then also becomes the driver for the symptoms, right? It could also be connected, at least to some extent, with nervous system. A lot of people who have these issues, they find that the issues become much more aggravated when they have any kind of mental stress, related problems. Like, they go through a stressful period, immediately the IBS would flare up, right? So these are the main reasons, once again, right? Just taking anti-inflammatory medicines or immunosuppressive medicines is not going to solve these issues. That is again going to be just a patchwork. Just symptomatic relief you will get. You will feel better as long as the medicine is there. but it's not a long-term solution. Now, IBS is common, IBD is not so common generally. The two, most common forms of IBD would be Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, right? The main difference between Crohn's disease, the problem is in certain patches, certain parts of the colon or the large intestine. It could also be even, in the small intestine. But in ulcerative colitis, you can think of it as, a much more advanced problem where a large part of the bowels are inflamed, right? So once again, the reasons are very similar to what we looked at in the previous thing. Uh, Generally, it starts with a combination of factors like toxicity, low levels of nutrients for the body to repair and heal itself faster, immune system that is out of balance. It could be out of balance because of a variety of reasons. It could be because there is overgrowth or imbalance of the microflora. It could be because there are toxins that the immune system is reacting to. It could have become uh, extra sensitive to food items that you eat regularly, and therefore again it is overreacting. So immune system can get into a overreaction kind of mode for a variety of reasons. And once it is in that kind of a state, it will create inflammation because it will attack whenever it comes across those substances to which it is overreacting, right? So once again, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. We have worked with any number of these, cases and been able to reverse these problems largely, bring about significant relief, just focusing on these fundamentals. Okay. Anyways, we'll look at what you can do step by step. But the basic message being that today science understands the reasons behind these problems to a very large extent. Okay. And if you're willing to make the effort, these could be reversed quite effectively. So here, I mean, whatever I was sharing is in the form of points here. Motility is disturbed, which could either lead to constipation or to diarrhea, to lose motions, right? And your sensitivity is heightened. So people experience more cramps, more pain, in the intestines, in the gut. Now, once again, we come back to the immune function. And the immune function, again, one important factor connected with immune function is the amount of mucus in the gut. Generally, if the mucus reduces, which could again happen because of many reasons, one reason could be an imbalance in the gut microbes. Certain microbes eat up the mucus, and certain microbes promote more production of mucus. So, if there is less mucus, the contents of the gut, which includes all kinds of toxins, all kinds of food which is in different stages of digestion and fermentation, and the bacteria and the toxins that the bacteria produce, etc. All of it starts coming in direct contact with the immune system. It's not supposed to. There's supposed to be a buffer of mucus between the two. When this mucus is gone, the direct contact will lead to overactivation of the immune system. And when the immune system becomes overactive because it starts reacting, it leads to food allergies, sensitivities, and that constant kind of a war kind of situation there. Immune system overreacting means what? It is in a war, it's in a battle, it is fighting, right? It's attacking. It will damage the gut lining. That's what leaks. That is what a leaky gut is basically, right? Altered microbiota we've already looked at. And yes, there could also be involvement of the nervous system. Could be because of stress or many other reasons, which lead to improper signaling from the gut to the brain and brain to the gut. Right, both ways it can get impaired, where the signals that are coming to the gut are causing more dysfunction rather than helping. Now, constipation is again a very common issue, right? Um, if you look at what is taught in American medical colleges, just give me 2 seconds. Do you know what is taught in medical colleges in America and all? How many bowel movements are normal, considered normal? Anybody? Any idea? You can put in the chat. Once a day, twice a day, once in 2 days, once in 3 days. What do you think is normal? No idea? Anyone? No one knows? Twice a day is normal. Is that what is taught in medical colleges? In medical colleges, they are told that if you go to the loo once or twice a week, you're normal. Can you imagine why America is the sickest country on the planet? Yes, Prerna, you're right. Twice a week is taught as normal. In our conventional sciences, Ayurveda and naturopathy, twice a day is considered normal. Even once a day is considered constipation. Okay. If you really want to keep your body clean, twice a day is what is considered to be optimal. So now you imagine what is the condition of the entire system because of such education. Now again, bowel obstruction could be one reason, but it's very, very rare, very uncommon, because these are not structural issues, these are functional issues, right? Functional issues could be immune system has become oversensitive to certain foods, it starts reacting against them, thinking that those foods are harmful, but they are not. They're that we have been eating those foods, but the immune system starts behaving like that. I briefly explained how that happens in the previous slide, right? It could be because of autoimmunity, which again is connected with immune system being off balance, right? Or it could be because of disruption of the gut microbiome. See, I'm sure many of you have heard, you know, uh, serotonin, the neurotransmitter. It is needed for the contraction of the intestines so that the bowel movement and motion can happen easily. If I remember correctly, 60-70% of this is produced by the microbes in the gut. And if you don't have the right kind of microbes, it comes down, the production comes down. If the production comes down, you can have constipation. As simple as that, right? So imbalance in the gut microbiome is the most common reason for constipation also, right? And then dehydration, very, very common. How many of you can claim here in this group that you really drink the required amount of water? If you can claim, if you think that is applicable to you, you can put it in the chat. Let's see how many people are there. Nobody? Hmm. Okay, we have one person who's saying that. Wonderful. Okay, 3 liters per day. Too little I drink. That is true for majority, right? So no wonder body is struggling with simple issues, simple tasks like bowel movement. Now, not having enough fiber in the diet is obvious, right? I think everyone knows this much, that if you don't eat enough fiber, you may end up with less uh, bulk. And without the bulk, you will not have enough bowel movement. And Hashimoto's, or sorry, hypothyroidism is again a very common cause of constipation, because thyroid, when it slows down, okay, and when I say slows down, within the so-called, your numbers could be within the reference range in your report, but you may still have functional hypothyroidism, or you can call it subclinical hypothyroidism. Your clinic will not consider it abnormal, but that is not good enough for the body. Okay, majority people are struggling like that. The problem is there; it's not even diagnosed. And thyroid, in functional medicine way, we say if a slow thyroid means slow anything in the body, anything or everything, any function, every function can slow down in the body. Okay, metabolism can slow down, so you feel more cold. Circulation slows down, so your feet and hands become cold more easily. Right, hair starts falling. Skin doesn't produce enough oil, so you have dry skin, and so many different things. Right, so internally also, process can slow down, and therefore one of the effects could be constipation. Right. How do we treat it normally? Just by pumping, these medicines or herbs which promote or stimulate the bowels to move, which is fine in the short period, right? When you are struggling with the constipation, you want to clear it out, but that's not a solution. You have to see why the constipation is happening and address that. So if we have to kind of summarize the underlying reasons of GI issues, overgrowth of bacteria in the small intestine known as SIBO. It could also be fungus, which is called SIFO, SIFO, small intestinal bacterial fungal overgrowth. Now, bacteria could be, most bacteria are friendly, they're beneficial, some are unfriendly. Very common today, especially because of antibiotics and other medications, and even also use of pesticides, etc., in our food, in our fields, and other reasons. The these could lead to an imbalance where the bacteria, the friendly ones, have reduced, and the space has been taken up by the overgrowth of unfriendly bacteria, who have somehow become more, they have mutated themselves to be able to resist all of these chemicals, right? And we've already looked at how leaky gut develops. Essentially, when there is unwanted stuff, including overgrowth of bacteria, fungus in the gut, undigested food in the gut, and various other toxins, immune system reacts to these toxins by becoming more aggressive. It starts kind of getting into battle mode, and it starts releasing a lot of chemicals and all to fight there. And all these chemicals are harmful. They damage your gut lining as well, right? So that is how leaky gut develops. It's also aggravated by lack of sufficient nutrients like vitamin A, omega-3, vitamin D, etc., and other nutrients. But that's the main process. It's the immune system reaction which is causing leaky gut largely. Okay. There could be chronic overgrowths or infections of like bacteria or fungal or parasites. Very common ones are H. pylori overgrowth or blastocystis hominis, Candida albicans, Clostridia, etc. Very, very common, very common. And see, none of them are, uh, see, all of them are already present in almost everyone. They don't cause a problem unless they overgrow, right? So that is the thing. It's a imbalance that is causing the problem. We already looked at low stomach acid and or digestive enzyme production. Again, very, very common in those people who are uh, experiencing gut-related health issues. And when the immune system becomes sensitive or allergic or intolerant to certain food items, then again, it is the immune system's overreactivity which creates a whole chain of events and reactions leading to many of the health issues and symptoms that we experience. Impaired communication and also the migrating motor complex impairment. So these are the main causes that lead to the development of GI related issues. Okay. Now, when you have GI related issues, the natural outcome is that your digestion becomes poor and absorption becomes poor. Okay. Uh, sorry, I have a little of a dry throat right now. When the digestion is poor, naturally, you will not be getting all the nutrition from the food that you're eating, right? Your intestines, see, the intestinal cells also need nutrition, right? They will also be undernourished, and the rest of the body will also be undernourished. And also, because the food is not getting digested fully, undigested food remains in the intestines. It cannot be absorbed. Only digested food will be absorbed by the intestines, right? So then your system becomes more allergenic or sensitive. Immune system starts reacting unnecessarily, right? And inflammation increases when this happens. Not only that, when the bacteria and fungus eat this extra food, undigested food, they also multiply and they produce much more toxicity. And that also becomes a big burden on the body, especially on the liver. And for a lot of people, in such situations, the liver is also impacted quite badly. Okay, it's not functioning optimally at 100%. So basically, the food, when it is fermenting, it's basically bacteria. When they eat the food, we call it fermentation, isn't it? So when the food is fermenting or putrefying in the gut, essentially you're producing a lot of toxins, right? You cook some food and you forget it on the table, you forget to keep it in the fridge. In a few hours in the summer, it's gone bad. One little even close, you bring it even close to your nose and you know it's already gone bad, right? Why? Because there are so many toxins which get produced when the bacteria eat that food. Now, this production of toxins is happening inside your body every single day, every hour of the day, right? So this is endotoxemia, isn't it? We are actually toxifying the body. Okay, somebody is asking what is MMC. See, MMC is a very powerful wave of contractions that starts right in the stomach and goes down all the way till the end of the intestines. Okay, why? Because the body is trying to flush everything down. Hmm? Any undigested food particles and all which might be stuck, or the bacteria which anyways go on eating and multiplying, and the mucus. So all of this gets trapped in the mucus and the body pushes it down. This is a very, very important process because without this, overgrowth of bacteria will happen in any part of the intestine, right? And the body doesn't want that. So when the migrating motor complex MMC is impaired or reduced, and many reasons can do that. Many factors can lead to that. Essentially, bacteria start increasing in those parts of the intestines where they should not increase. Okay, so just to give you an understanding, the population of bacteria in the initial part of the small intestine compared to the large intestine, the colon, there is a multiple of 1 lakh times. For every 1 lakh bacteria in the colon, there is only one bacteria in the small intestine, right? So this is possible because the migrating motor complex is pushing the bacteria down every day, right? So when that breaks down, that becomes weak, bacteria start multiplying. When the bacteria start multiplying, your immune system starts reacting to that. And the whole thing goes for a toss. So that is the importance of MMC. So gut dysbiosis, overgrowth of these bacteria and all, and the consequent, leaky gut, etc., becomes the root cause for many health issues systemically, right? Because once the immune system is overreactive, once toxins are flooding everywhere in the body, issues can happen anywhere, right? They don't have to be, the symptoms don't have to show up in the digestive system only. It could be allergies, it could be asthma, it could be, eczema, psoriasis, acne, whatever, right? Skin issues. It could be brain related. Brain fog is very common symptom of leaky gut. People start struggling with focus, attention, recall, memory, etc., or even mood related issues, depression, anxiety, frustration, irritation, anger could just be connected with leaky gut, with your digestive system health. Not leaky gut necessarily, but digestive dysfunction. It could lead to inflammation in the joints, leading to arthritis like issues. Very common issue is migraines, headaches. Okay. Pain in the body, unexplained pain, which is basically fibromyalgia, could lead to low energy. It could lead to many other symptoms. So, I mean, and this list that we have put here is only representative. The actual list will run into hundreds and thousands of diseases. Okay. So that is the reason why gut health is so important. Because the immune system is involved in the gut, 80% of the immune system lives there, and the fact that so much of material is entering the body every day through the gut, the food that you eat, right? A few kilograms of it every day. There's a huge possibility of issues if this process is not happening perfectly or properly. Common symptoms of leaky gut might include headache, brain fog, memory, focus issues, skin related issues, low energy, depression, mood swings, anxiety, weight gain, sinus congestion or running nose all the time, arthritis, pains, fibromyalgia, sores, palpitations, shortness of breath, and also in the stomach, in the digestive system, you could see symptoms. Okay. How many of you have one or more of these symptoms? I think almost everyone will have, right? And maybe more than two or three, not just one. See, whatever your problem you might have come with, when you mentioned in the chat initially, there is involvement of the gut. It's very obvious, isn't it? That's how it is. That's how important the gut is. Now, how do we handle these problems? Okay. Some of these things you can do on your own, some you need guidance and help. But essentially, you have to start doing a reset, right? The first step is to decide that, yes, I want to work on this, understand the importance, and decide to work on it. So you can call that as the reset, the first step. And then you remove many things. We have just mentioned the pathogens here. But why are the pathogens increasing? Because maybe we are feeding them the wrong food. Like somebody called me today for a discovery call and she said, she has many issues. And she went to somebody who put her on white rice diet for 2 weeks and her problems exploded. Because why did they explode? Because certain types of bacteria, pathogens, and especially fungus, it thrives on white rice. Okay, it loves white rice, it multiplies much faster. So it was just a wrong diet for this person, right? So you have to remove the foods which feed the pathogens. You have to remove the foods which trigger the immune system. The immune system has become sensitive or allergic to them. And you have to also remove the pathogens which have already overgrown. While you are doing this, you have to ensure that the food that you're eating gets digested fully every time, because otherwise undigested food means again the bacteria and all will start growing, right? So you, if needed, you supplement the acid and the enzymes for some time till the body can start producing it properly on its own, right? We have also looked at leaky gut means the intestinal lining is damaged, right? Mucosa is damaged. So you repair that, you regenerate that, you support the body with the right nutrients and other things too, so that the body is able to heal itself. Now, when you have reduced the overgrowth of unfriendly bacteria, it's very important that you replace them with good bacteria, because otherwise, if physical surface of the intestines is available, they will again start multiplying and increasing. So you don't want any physical space to be available. All the surface area you have to fill with friendly bacteria, probiotics. Okay. And when the probiotics are there, they also calm your immune system down. That's very, very important. And then once the healing has happened, some of the foods that you had removed initially in point number 2, you can start reintroducing them in a systematic manner. Okay. There's a whole process how to do that. And then in the long run, maintenance is important. So there you have to ensure that you understand these dynamics and you, kind of keep implementing some of these points to ensure that the problems do not come back. So you have to maintain a healthy bacteria microbiome. You have to ensure that the intestinal lining and the health is good, and you don't want to bring in foods that feed the unfriendly bacteria, etc. So if you maintain these things, the improvements that have happened will stay with you. So that's in a nutshell how it works, right? We've already gone through this. Um, See, this is basically just kind of more, going into more details. I'm not sure this is going to be really useful right now, because uh, most of you will not be able to kind of understand or, benefit from this. We just given you, some examples of what are good bacteria species to, probiotics to bring into the body, the bacillus, species, and Saccharomyces boulardii is a type of friendly beneficial yeast, which is very good because it has one, uh, along with a few other bacteria, it is very good at killing the unfriendly overgrowth of yeast and bacteria. Okay, so Saccharomyces is a very good option. It's very good for preventing loose motions and all. Okay, and it is actually more effective than antibiotics in killing certain types of bacterial overgrowths, or it works very well in conjunction with them as well. And for the inflammatory disease, VSL3 is a good option which is available in terms of probiotic, which is available in all medical stores. You can get it very easily. It has, I think, a few species of uh, very common, but the very good friendly microbes. So I think it has 8 species or something. So pretty good, very good effects we have seen. Okay, so there's a lot of evidence in treatment of ulcerative colitis also with VSL3. Now, when you have cleaned out the gut, you have reduced the unwanted bacteria. One thing is that you can also start then consuming foods which are fermented, which means they are rich in probiotics, like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, etc. Okay, they're very simple. You can make them at home very easily and keep them in the fridge and keep consuming. Okay. So probiotics are the friendly bacteria. Prebiotics are the food that we can't digest, but they need the bacteria. But the bacteria needs those foods. The bacteria thrive. The friendly bacteria thrive on those foods, certain fibers and all. Okay. So, but prebiotics can create gas and all for many people. So you have to start with very small quantity and slowly increase and allow the body to get used to it. But it can be very important to kind of consume foods that are naturally rich in prebiotics, because you can eat your basal 3 and all, you can bring in the good bacteria, but they will survive only if you feed them every day, right? Otherwise they're gonna starve and die. So that is why prebiotics also become very important. We also spoke about how that you have to support the healing of the gut lining. Now there can be different supplements and all which help with that. So for example, glutamine is very useful in repairing the gut. Vitamin A is very important. Vitamin D is important. Omega 3 is important. MSM and quercetin are very important. They reduce the chronic inflammation. Basically, they calm down the immune system because inflammation is being created by the overactivity of immune function, and therefore they help heal the leaky gut. Uh, and acetylglucosamine is very good to improve the secretion of mucus, which creates the barrier, the buffer between the contents of the intestines and the immune system. It also heals the gut lining, etc. Mucin again is very useful. It is also produced by intestinal cells. You can also take it in the form of supplement. DGL, which is basically licorice, which is very common, herb found in India also. Aloe vera gel, sleepy M, marshmallow, chamomile, and also things like your okra, bindi, which has a gel. Flax seeds, if you soak them, they become like jelly. Or chia seeds, they have this gel kind of property. These kind of food items are very good to create a coating of mucus in the gut lining. This is very important. Okay, you cannot overestimate the importance of having a barrier in the gut, which keeps the contents of the gut away from the immune system. This is very important, right? And zinc carnosine is a very easily available supplement which also helps with this. It improves the health of the gut lining. It also is good in killing certain overgrowths like, I think, H. pylori, etc. So that is also very useful. You can also, it's also a good idea to bring in a good quality hydrolyzed protein, because any healing and any repair in the body needs what? It needs amino acids, which come from protein, right? So that is why a good quality hydrolyzed protein is also a very good addition. So there are ways to figure out which food items the body, if the immune system is overreacting to, and you remove those, and then slowly one by one you introduce them back. If the healing has happened substantially enough, you will not see the same reactions or symptoms as you used to get earlier. If they don't create a problem, you can continue with them, maybe not every single day, but you can consume them again. And as I said, maintenance is important in the long run. You continue supporting the basic requirements of the gut, which is probiotics and the food for the probiotics, and overall good nutritious food. Bacteria and immune function are the two most important actors in your gut, the microbiome and the immune system. And obviously, before that, if you look at upstream, your digestive juices, secretion of stomach acid and enzymes. And basic supplements like an B complex. If you don't go out in the sun enough, then vitamin D and K, right? Omega 3, magnesium. These are basic things that you can keep taking uh, as a maintenance, because the body needs these, whether you get them from food or sunlight, or you get them in a tablet or capsule. You have to give it to the body. If the body has it, it will stay healthy. If it doesn't have these, you will struggle, right? Yeah. So I think we have already gone, all of these things in detail already. So when it comes to whether gut health itself, or because of gut health, many other problems happening in the body because the immune system is, gone off balance, it's not able to do its work properly, whichever way, right? It is important to it is important to change your approach and stop looking only for short-term solutions. Nothing wrong with short-term solutions, because when you're struggling, you need relief, right? But don't stop there. Start looking for deeper solutions as well. Hmm. So it's important that we stop treating each symptom separately as if it's a disease by itself. Okay. So somebody, has some skin issue somewhere in the body. In fact, this happened today. And then they also have some breathing issues, and there is thyroid issues, right? Now, for like 20 years and all, some of these issues, PCOS has been going on from the time of puberty. So that's like 30 years plus for this person. And all their life, they have been told to believe directly or indirectly that each of these issues are separate issues. They need to be treated separately. And on the other hand, the functional medicine approach, the science, actual science tells us that your body doesn't work in separate silos in a vacuum. Everything is being impacted by everything else. The same inflammation, the same overreactivity of the immune system can create skin issues, psoriasis, and all. It can also create inflammation in your lungs, which lead to breathing issues, bronchitis, and whatever, right? So you have to stop treating each symptom separately and then start, kind of either zoom out and you start noticing the interconnections of different things in the body. So just popping pills is not going to solve the problem in the long run. As I said, nothing wrong in handling your symptoms when they're bothering you too much, but you must dig deeper and look for the root causes, right? That's the only thing that's going to really offer you solutions. So what we offer is a 12 weeks program called the Hormone Reset Program. It's not that we only handle hormone related issues, but we started like that 4 years back, thinking we'll focus only on that. So that's why it's still called Hormone Reset, but we handle immune system related issues, gut issues in a big way. Even for hormonal imbalance, it's the same underlying reasons. Even for those problems, we have to address the same issues, right? So we do a lot of deep diving into each case, and we look at what are the unique problems or reasons, whether it is toxins or heavy metals toxicity in the body, overgrowth of unfriendly bacteria, fungus, which is called a chronic infection, low levels of nutrition, inflammation, poor gut health, mitochondrial dysfunction, detoxification channels are not working, liver is, not in a condition to remove toxins efficiently. You don't know, you've not figured out how to handle stressful situations well, because when you don't handle them well, your nervous system goes into disarray, and that will create the body that will, make sure that the body also goes off balance. And then no non-native EMF, right? EMF means electromagnetic radiations like your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your electric and electronic devices. They have a field of EMF. This is all unnatural, and the body doesn't do well. There's a huge amount of evidence. Although the big companies which sell all these products to us, they don't allow this information to really, come out and circulate freely because it's bad for their business. But there's a lot of evidence that many of these problems are happening just because of this issue, right? So we look at all of these things and do a deep dive, deep testing and your history and your symptoms, and then we create a very thorough treatment plan. So the treatment is based on 6 pillars, which is diet, each improve your dietary choices and all, and also supplement where needed. Because when the digestive system itself is impaired, even if you eat good food, it's not necessarily going to get digested and absorbed, right? So nutrition will not necessarily come up to the level that is needed for quick repair to happen. So that's why we bring in the supplementation as well. We guide you on physical activity. Um, we help you with simple but effective tools and techniques to handle chronic stress. And your mind plays a big role also in many different ways in terms of emotional blocks, etc. So we give you simple techniques to address those. And also detoxification processes are uh, used to help the body get rid of toxins. And also mitochondria are the drivers of the health of your cells. And unless the cells are healthy, the body cannot be healthy, isn't it? It's very simple connection. So we also look at various tools and techniques and things that are needed for your mitochondria to function better. Right? So these are the 6 pillars of our program. The process starts with detailed history taking and symptoms also. Based on this, we recommend the tests. Once you share the test reports, you process all of this information to figure out what are the root causes, what are the drivers for your health issues. And then based on this understanding, we create a personalized nutrition and lifestyle and treatment plan. If you are opting for the group program, there will be 2 one-on-one consultations and there will be 8 live group sessions as well, in which you can ask any questions and all you may have. Yeah, interactive sessions. This is what I was talking about. We also, equip you with simple ways to meditate and that would reduce your stress levels, etc. We give some guidance on physical activity and yoga, as I said earlier. We also take you through a 3-day guided detox process. Okay, people have come back shining after the 3 days of detox. There is obviously WhatsApp support available throughout the duration of the program. Recipes, handouts, blogs, shopping guides, whatever is needed is provided as well. Yeah, so the cost of the program is 16,000 rupees. This is the consultation charges. The cost of testing and supplements is extra. And yeah, so I guess that's all from my side. I've already taken an hour. So I will stop sharing the screen and look at any questions that some of you might have. So the team is already asking you to raise your hand. So in the reactions, there is a way to raise your hand. So you have to click on the react button and then click on raise hand if you have questions to ask. Yes, Garima, please go ahead. Okay, just 1 second. I think I have to allow you to unmute. Yes, you can unmute yourself now. Yes, Garima.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. I hope you
Hello.
can see me and hear me.
Yes, thank you for turning on your camera as well.
Right. So I live in Pune,
Mhm.
India. Okay. And I have been facing this gut health issue since 3, 4 years now. And now
Okay.
that you have told me, this issues with um, your lungs, or maybe earlier, maybe I have this issue since years and I've not realized it. and now it has shoot up to an extent that my entire autoimmunity is gone on a toss. I developed inflammatory joints arthritis in May, and slowly I could figure out that rice, sweets, anything sour, right, anything cooling, ठंडा fruits या ठंडी चीजें हैं ना, वो मेरी बॉडी उसको रिएक्ट कर रही है. ठीक
Very
है.
good. Very happy to know that you have started seeing these connections on your own.
राइट, ये मुझे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम मुझे पता चला, क्योंकि मेरा पेन शूटअप हो जाता था.
Right,
ठीक है.
right, right. Yes.
इमीडिएटली हाफ एन आवर में शूटअप हो जाता था. फिर मैंने अभी आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट शुरू किया है, जिसमें वो मुझे मेडिसिन दे रहे हैं, सो दैट मुझे ये पता चला कि मेरा गट हेल्थ हैज लेड टू दिस इज व्हाट आई कुड रियलाइज थ्रू आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट, राइट.
Okay.
I was having chronic constipation for 7-8 months.
Okay.
And then suddenly it shoot up into arthritis and stuff. अभी मेरा ये स्टेज है, मैं ले रही हूँ दवाइयाँ. My diet has changed entirely. I'm only on millets and only 2 dals and certain vegetables. Anything which is producing gas, inflammation is taken out from my diet. Okay. मेरा चैलेंज क्या होता है, अभी सडनली 2 हफ्ते से फिर से gas, bloating, mucus in the stools. Some multiple times I'm passing stools and they are not normal stools. ये फिर से आ रहा है बार बार.
Okay, so what is your question for me, Garima?
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि आप लोग जो बोल रहे हैं कि टेस्ट्स होते हैं या फिर जो भी डायग्नोसिस या ट्रीटमेंट होता है, यू डू इट ऑनलाइन ओनली और
Everything is online. Everything is online. See, please understand one thing. Unless I need you to admit you in a hospital, everything else you can do on your own. खाना तो आपको खाना है, right? We can tell you what to eat, what not to eat. We can give you recipes, right? Other than that, simple lifestyle changes you anyways have to make, and we can only guide you, right? And then the other thing is, some supplements that will give you. For that also, there is no need to go anywhere. You can order them and you can start having them as, based on the schedule given to you. So it works wonderfully, actually, with no running around, extra running around needed.
12 weeks is justified for a problem that has been years
See,
long.
I'm not saying कि वो 3 महीने में, 12 हफ्ते में, 3 महीने में सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, 10 साल 20 साल की प्रॉब्लम ठीक हो जाएगी, है ना? That's not what I'm saying. But you will see significant improvements. Sometimes to a point where 70-80% symptoms are gone in 3 months.
Okay.
Right? Now, for long-standing chronic health issues, you may decide to work for maybe another 3 months or 6 months. Entirely your choice, right? That depends on case to case, where you might feel that, okay, I have benefited quite a bit. Let me kind of establish these improvements by working for another 3 months. Or you feel that, okay, out of 10 issues, 7 are solved, but I want these 3 also to be solved, so I will continue working for another few months. So that is not an issue, but the initial thing is for 3 months. See, if I tell 6 months or 9 months, how many people will sign up to, will even commit? That's a challenge, isn't it? Real life problem. So that's where it is. Yes. But
Okay.
yeah, arthritis and gut issues and all, I'll tell you, there's some, I think somewhere on our website, you'll probably find this test sharing from a participant. We worked with a lady, I think she was from Mumbai itself. She was a teacher, but she was an athlete. Her passion was running marathons and all. And she developed arthritis. She was told, your running days are over. She could barely walk. चल नहीं पा रहे, वो दौड़ेगा कैसे 42 kilometers, right? So she worked with us for 6 months. Before the 6 months got over, not only was she back on track running marathons, she had broken her own personal records. So not only the problem went away, but her health and her stamina and energy were better than anything that she had experienced before that. So very much possible. Okay. So Rupa, you can unmute and ask your question.
You treat for pulmonary hypertension and lupus.
Yes, yes, definitely.
You'll give supplement natural herbs
Or
this one allopathic like.
okay, so before I answer your question, there is a one question poll on your screen. So please, I request everyone to answer that. Just one question. So just please answer. Just take you 5 seconds. Now, supplements cannot be allopathic in nature, Rupa. Okay. What does supplement mean? See, the correct term is nutritional supplements or nutraceuticals. What does it mean? It means something that should have come from the food. Because it is not coming in sufficient quantity for whatever reasons, we are bringing in through supplements, which basically in the form of a capsule or a pill or a syrup, basically, right? So essentially, it is addition to food, right? So it cannot be allopathic by nature. It cannot be a medicine. It is concentrated food, essentially.
It is natural medicines or natural herbs like.
See, you are kind of you need to get out of this natural thing. What do you mean by natural? Vitamin B12, for example, is produced by bacteria. Okay, you don't have those bacteria in the gut, or you don't eat the food that they can ferment and produce B12. Now, I have to ensure that the body has enough B12 because it is very essential for your health, the issues that you are facing. Now, I get some bacteria in the laboratory, give them the food that they need, and they produce B12. I take this B12, put it in a capsule, and give it to you. Now, what will you say? Is this natural or not? नेचुरली है वो आपके गट में प्रोड्यूस होने की जगह एक मशीन में प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है दैट्स द ओनली डिफरेंस राइट सो सप्लीमेंट्स आर substances which are naturally present in the body but they're not there in sufficient quantity, so we are bringing them from outside. So in that sense they are natural, yes. They're not like medicines. Medicines are artificial chemicals that the body doesn't recognize. It fights them, it tries to break them down. Supplements are natural substances which are always been present in the body. They've come through the food and other sources, and the body welcomes them. It uses them and trying to heal itself. That is the fundamental difference. They don't have side effects like medicines. I hope that answers your questions and for others also, if any of you had this question.
So which type of blood test you recommend?
I'm sorry?
Which type of blood test?
Which type of blood test? See,
Blood
that to some
test.
extent that depends on your health issues, right? But essentially, it's a panel of tests which is very comprehensive. It looks at not only just the CBC and all, but also, see, we are trying to figure out not only what is happening. What is happening, you are telling us anyways through your symptoms, right? We want to understand why it is happening. We want to dig deeper, right? So for that, I need to look at what are the inflammatory markers in the body, nutrient levels. So we check for all the vitamins, almost all the vitamins except vitamin C. Okay, and we check for multiple minerals like magnesium, calcium, sodium, potassium, etc. We check for toxins like mercury, aluminum, lead, cadmium, all of these things. We check for many autoimmune markers, antibody markers as well, common markers to see if the immune system is overactive. We look at multiple inflammatory markers as well. So it's a very, very comprehensive blood panel. And there could also be some advanced testing that we do based on need, individual cases.
For pulmonary hypertension and lupus, for both you will treat, sir?
Yes, 100% yes. We can definitely help with both. Not an issue. Okay. So I still see many people have not answered the poll. Please do that.
Now
As I said,
I
it's
have
just one question.
as though now I am doing a diet, sir. I remove gluten, sugar, everything.
Okay.
Still, I have palpitations like that and all issues.
So see, it's good you have removed all those things, but the whole thing that I've been discussing for the last 1 hour, just removing those things, do you think it's going to solve all the problems? No, isn't it? I wish it was that easy that you just remove a few items and everything is solved. Removing those things is important. It's an important step, but it is not the full process, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much that we have been discussing last 1 hour. Hmm? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Who's next? Dimple, you can unmute and ask your question, please.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sir, actually, I'm having lichen amyloidosis problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sir, is this related to gut health? Can
How's
it be reverted back?
Why don't you tell me how's your gut health?
Sir, I am not able to understand my gut health.
Okay.
How do I come to know what is my gut health and how is my gut health? You know, and I'm feeling itching all over my body all the time. This itching has become rampant a few months back. So
Okay.
how do I control that? No, every time I have to take some antihistamine tablets, you know, so that can control my itching. So it works for 2 3 days. Again it will start. So I most of the time I avoid taking, but then when it becomes very severe I will have to take the medicine so that I feel relieved.
So you need to figure out why is there extra histamine in the gut, and histamine is there in the gut. Okay, that's a very
Yeah.
much gut thing. Why is it? Why is the extra histamine being produced?
Hmm.
So essentially, I mean, without getting all into the details, you are yourself saying that it is a gut problem. Your skin issue is a gut problem because it goes away when you take an antihistamine. You are reducing the
Hmm.
histamine production in the body. Where is the histamine produced? Majorly in the gut.
Okay.
So you answered your own question, isn't it? Whether it's a gut problem.
Hmm.
It is a gut problem.
So can this be reversed back or can it?
Of course, why not? Of course it can be.
रेडियोलॉजी ड्यूटी का अच्छा
Then how
रेडियोलॉजी
do
में
I
ड्यूटी
do it,
करेगा
or how what is the
Sorry.
process, or how do I come to know where can I contact, what to do?
So see, the team has been sharing, I think, messages in the chat with contact details where you can get in touch. Or if you
Hmm.
wish, you can leave your contact number in the chat as well, and the team will get in touch with you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and that stands for everyone. If you want,
Yeah.
you can leave your contact details in the chat, and the team will get in touch with you tomorrow.
Sir, can you just advise me till then what all things should be avoided so that itching reduces at least?
See, there are certain foods which increase the production of histamine or which have histamine in them also. They bring histamine into the body. Okay. So,
Yeah.
for example, fermented foods will have higher levels of histamine. Avocados
Hmm.
will have more histamine. So there are a few products like food products like that. First thing is you must stop consuming those products. Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot that can be done. There are certain bacteria which produce extra histamine. So those bacteria have to be reduced. There are other types of bacteria which reduce histamine production. So those quantity numbers have to be increased. There's a lot that can be done, and one has to calm down the immune system also. But it could be this all can be handled quite easily. I mean, I'm sorry that you're struggling for so many months or whatever period, but honestly, histamine is relatively easier to handle. There are much bigger problems that we handle, right? So
Okay.
definitely we can help you with all this.
Sure. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, I think Sharanya is next. You can unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. I'm living abroad. As concerned to the tests, it's very difficult for me to get an appointment with the doctors here.
Where are you located? Where is here?
I am in Germany, near to
Okay.
Frankfurt.
Okay.
And one more problem is there is only an early control from the family doctor, and it's almost done for me in the last month for January. But she tested only the normal CBC, renal parameters, liver parameters, and since it's winter here, she's checked for extra vitamin D. And
Hello, sir. Hello.
One at a
I
time, please.
don't.
Sorry, please, let Sharanya finish, then we can ask the next question.
Yeah, as per the test, I'm not aware how much I can navigate to get controlled again.
So, Sharanya, we
So,
understand that we work with a lot of people from outside India, right? So we understand that there is a limitation in how many tests you can do through this route, right? Through the normal route. So then
okay.
obviously you have to opt for what are known as kit-based tests. And there are kit-based tests available directly over there, or even here in India, and they can just be couriered to you. And that the cost of even the to and fro courier is much lower than doing other tests over there. Correct. So that is okay. We can work with detailed history, symptoms, and these kit-based tests. That's not an issue.
Okay. That I can send blood sample through the kit's mind.
It's a dry, so you just have to put a few drops. And when it dries, you put it in the envelope and send it. That's all. Quite simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, after you get tested, after you test the samples, you'll send the supplements or whatever the treatment required through the courier.
Yes. So as I said, we create a very detailed treatment plan, right? I showed you all the different things that we cover, different topics that we address. So we will share the treatment plan, and we will share the links to order the supplements in your location, like using Amazon or whatever is available in Germany.
Okay.
Here. You can order directly over there and start with the treatment.
Okay. And my last question is, you said about the interactive sessions. Then will it be also time appropriate for me when
See,
it's
there
a
are
group
two
call?
slots for those sessions. Either I'm talking about India time. It is either 9:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the evening. I think that should be okay, right? 5:30 should be okay. Even 9:30, you should be able to manage by waking up a little early. In 3 months,
That's not the problem, but I'm working. That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem. Today I had for some other reason, a vacation. That's why.
Okay. See, so I suggest you get in touch with the team and you can discuss those specific details with them. Okay. They will be able to give you some more options as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can either leave your number or you can note down their number and get in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody was already unmuting and asking. Who was that? Okay. I don't see that. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Hello.
Yes. Who is this?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I'm suffering from SLE, Goel syndrome, and rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And due to SLE, I just lost my 5-month baby. So, is SLE curable?
Yes. Why not? That's what we've been discussing all this while, right? That if you identify the reason why the immune system is going off balance, and you are willing to make the changes, make the efforts to address those reasons, your immune system will come back on track. Why not? I mean, I understand, the conventional system tells us, oh, it's incurable. You have to only manage with that for the rest of your life. So we also kind of, I guess somewhere we allow ourselves to get brainwashed into believing that there is no solution.
So, can I get pregnant after this program? Is the baby will be okay? If the baby will be okay?
We have had many cases where actually, couples were struggling to conceive when they were doing IVF and all these rounds and rounds were happening, but nothing was happening. And let's say the wife had some autoimmune disorder. So she came to us for the autoimmune issue, not for pregnancy. Okay. And they worked with us for 3 months or 6 months. And suddenly after another 3-6 months, we get a message saying that, I have conceived, or even after some time I have delivered a baby. So see, the point is this: pregnancy is very natural for the female body, right? Today in our
Yes.
society, we seem to have made a big issue out of it, but please go back 2 generations and look at our grandmothers. On an average, they had 6 to 8 children, sometimes 12, 10, 12 also, right? And without any health issues, without any problem, isn't it? Like most of our grandmothers in their 60s and 70s, they could do more work than we can do in our 30s and 40s, isn't it? Correct?
Right.
So what was the difference? What has happened to our bodies? There is
Actually,
no.
I conceived naturally. There was no problem in conceiving. The problem
Fine. It's
happened
not about just
later in
conceiving. The
4th
body should
month.
be. It's not about conceiving, Ria. The body should be in a condition to go through the entire process without a problem, right? And deliver a healthy baby. Correct. That entire thing should be the body should
Right.
be able to do, which we are struggling so much as a society today. Why? Because of the same reasons. The fundamentals have to be addressed. You address the fundamentals, pregnancy will happen very easily. All 9 months will go through, and without a problem. I'll just give you a simple tip or secret. Most women have a horrible time in the first trimester, right? Morning sickness and what all happens. Correct?
Yes.
You know why
Correct.
it happens? It is connected to a question that somebody asked just 2 questions back. It is because of histamine overload. Okay. Initially, your estrogen levels increase rapidly, and estrogen increases the amount of histamine production in the body, and histamine will create crazy symptoms for you.
Yes.
By the end of the first 3 months, your placenta is formed well, and placenta starts producing more progesterone. Progesterone will reduce histamine. As histamine comes down, your symptoms vanish. I'm just giving you one simple, thing why women struggle so much. There is no need to struggle with all those symptoms. It's so easy to handle them, right? So it's just about understanding what the body needs, what is happening in the body. If you have that understanding, very easily you can manage these things, right? So I will say there is another way to look at it. If your health is not good, you may manage to go through the entire months and have the baby, but the chances of the baby also having health issues naturally becomes higher, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct? You don't need $1 billion research to prove that, isn't it? It's so simple and common sense. So even if you just want a healthy baby, it's first your responsibility to ensure that your body is healthy. Correct? And also imagine
Correct.
what happens to the life of the parents if the child that is born is not healthy. Everything goes for a toss, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you don't want that for
Yes,
yourself
of
or for the
course.
child, isn't it? So it is
Yes,
very
actually, my
intelligent.
disease was in remission for quite long. So I planned,
No, I can understand that. Obviously, you
but
would have
later it got active.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, we can help. We can definitely help you. We would love to help you because we definitely want to, you know,
Okay.
we want people to have healthy children. That is for sure very, very important for us. It's not that that is our focus area, but yes, it's very important that if you have a child should be healthy and you should
So
remain
the
healthy.
SLE can SLE be fully curable for lifetime? Like my doctor say it can't be cured.
I'll say 80% possibility. Yes, it can be reversed completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I see Akanksha has unmuted herself. Akanksha, do you have a question?
Sir, I am also suffering from rheumatoid arthritis actually.
Okay.
So I am on medication and taking medicines, lot of medicine. The joints of the fingers are swollen a bit, and fingers of the feet are also fingers are also at points swollen. So can I do something for it?
100% you can do. You can do a lot about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you attend the entire workshop or did you join later?
Yeah, I joined little later. Actually,
That is why
came
your
and
question is coming.
so I want to attend this again. If you can possibly do that.
No, you can ask the team for the recording and you can watch the
Yeah,
recording.
yeah. If you could do that. Huh?
You can get in touch and ask the team. They will share it with you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. ठीक है sir.
Okay.
Hi, doctor.
Hello, Meeta.
My name is Poonam. Hi, Meet. I'm also attending.
Okay.
I would like to know about thyroid. If the TSH is normal and T3 and T4 is normal, why do antibodies develop in someone? And what is the reason for this to happen in the body? What I would like to ask you as a doctor, like how is this happening inside the body, and is it something which can it's something for lifetime? It is there for someone, or if someone wouldn't have recommended for antibodies test, we would never have come to know, because T3, T4, THS levels always normal. So do people always sometimes have antibodies which are high and they don't come to know, and they go on with normal life?
For a
So what
period
is
of
your
time.
opinion, doctor? Sorry?
They don't come to know for a period of time.
Okay.
The disease is progressing below the radar. You can think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy plane is flying below the radar, so you don't know. It's already entered
Mm-hmm.
your country. When
Mm-hmm.
it starts attacking, when explosions start happening, then you will know, oh, this has already come 2,000 kilometers inside.
Okay.
And it is attacking all the sensitive points, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in the initial part of your question, you actually put the cart before the horse, in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
you said T3, T4, TSH are normal. How can antibodies develop?
Yes, doctor.
It's the other way around. Once antibodies have developed, it's a matter of time before T3, T4, TSH all get screwed up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Antibodies means what? Your immune system is attacking and damaging the thyroid gland.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, the damage is small, so the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the gland is still able to produce the amount that is needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is why all the T3, T4, etc. are normal.
Mm-hmm.
As the damage becomes more and more, the
Mm-hmm.
gland that is still functional will reduce, and then the production will reduce suddenly.
Okay.
Right? So it's the other way around.
So it might take many years. It might take, we don't
That
know.
cannot be predicted. It will be very different for different people. Somebody, it could happen in months, somebody it could take years.
Okay. Doctor, what are the harmful effects of having high antibodies for thyroid inside your body?
Your thyroid gland is getting damaged by the immune system. What do you
Okay.
think it can do?
Right. I mean, I don't have much knowledge about people talk about a lot of hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidisms, but does it like, is there any indication like where is this leading to? Like, from the antibodies test, we can find out like where is this leading to in the body?
Where it is leading to? I'm not sure I
Yeah.
understand.
Like many people talk about hyperthyroidism, and there is other kinds of Graves' disease, a lot of other things I've heard about, but I'm not sure what it is. So if in your consultations, can we understand as to how where is this leading to in terms of the tests, and after certain tests, can we understand how to control and manage that?
No, control and manage, yes, that definitely is possible. That is what we do
Mm-hmm.
every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But where it is leading, what all is possible with the thyroid gland, I don't see much point getting into that kind of
Okay.
discussion. But once
Okay.
thyroid antibodies have developed, 90% of the time you are moving towards hypofunction.
Okay.
After a period of time, how much that gap, that lag will be, we can't say, as we just discussed, right? Could be a few months, could be a few years before
Right.
there is enough damage that the thyroid function starts reducing.
Right.
Right. So it
All
is
right.
essentially moving towards hypothyroidism. It's generally known as Hashimoto's. because it was
All
a
right.
called Hashimoto in Japan who first figured this out. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
also say something else here.
Yes, doctor.
We tend to think of autoimmunity as a problem that's only, so you discovered antibodies for your thyroid. So you think
Yes.
that the immune system is only going to damage my thyroid.
Yes.
Please understand that the immune system is fundamentally supposed to protect the body and not damage the body, right?
Yeah.
If it is damaging the thyroid, which you
Mm-hmm.
figured out because somebody told you to check for two antibodies, anti-TB and
Yes, doctor.
anti-TB, right? Why do you think that the immune system will not be damaging other organs in the body?
Mm-hmm.
You have not tested, so you don't know, right?
No.
So please understand that once the immune system has gone off balance, instead of
Mm-hmm.
protecting, it has started attacking the body. What
Mm-hmm.
prevents it from attacking various tissues and various organs in the body? And therefore,
Yeah.
based on this concept and based on
Mm-hmm.
experience of thousands of practitioners of functional medicine and a lot of research,
Mm-hmm.
autoimmune thyroid disease is considered as the gateway autoimmune disorder, the first one which shows up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take the necessary corrective actions to address the
Mm-hmm.
immune system function, not thyroid function. Thyroid has no problem actually for you. It's the
Mm-hmm.
immune system which is behaving erratically. Unless you
Mm-hmm.
do to address that, it's a matter of time before it starts damaging other parts of the body also substantially enough that the damage starts showing up in symptoms and diseases.
Okay, doctor.
So that is
All
something to
right.
keep up in mind. Don't think it's a thyroid problem. It's an immune system
Mm.
problem. And immune system is everywhere in the body.
All right. Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dr. Siddarth. Kunal here.
Hello, Kunal.
Just one question. I have joined late, so I might not have missed the part. Uh, there are two parts of the one question. One is, I think, ankylosing spondylitis is which I have been detected with.
Ankylosing spondylitis, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Disease, and I think the test which was done was HLA-B27. So that came out to be positive, and it has to be genetic. So for that AS disease, I think there is a lot of constipation happening at that point in time, and it has aggregated a lot of other things. Urinary tract infection and everything was there. So recently, it has been subsided. But what I heard from the other doctors and the rheumatologists is that this AS is something which is not curable. It,
According to modern medicine, no disease is curable. And even BP is not curable, diabetes is not curable, even sinus is not curable. So that is irrelevant. You should just ignore that.
okay.
That's
So
treatment.
yeah. So and then second, how do you measure if we undergo this to program for 3 months? Uh, what is the parameters in terms of how we can say that the autoimmune system has been restored to a certain level of 50% or 20%? How?
You already have the marker, right? The HLA-B27. You can test for that again.
So,
So,
but
but any which ways, that more importantly, so when we do the testing, right, you will see there will be a whole list of parameters that are out of whack based on our understanding. Okay. And even like we were discussing, these numbers are within normal range. That normal range doesn't mean that you're healthy very often. Okay. The normal range is arrived at through many different ways, but the most common thing is like a statistical thing where numbers of 10,000 people, it will obviously form a bell curve. From the mean, you take two standard deviations on either side. So that becomes your lower and upper limit.
Yeah.
There can be any amount of disease and dysfunction within that range. So it tells you that you are normal, not that you're healthy. Normal means you're like a majority of the others, right? Majority of the population. So even though your numbers might normal, so-called normal, but when we analyze them, we'll be able to explain to you much more of what is happening in the body, right? And then you can go through the program. One thing is your symptoms will tell you very clearly how much improvement is happening. But if you wish to for more empirical confirmation, you can repeat the blood test again at the end of 3 months and see.
Because on the blood test, what you mentioned, actually 27, I think I have done twice, came positive only. So then the doctors also said that it's a genetic. So even if you do test 110 times, it will come positive only.
So not I mean, not necessarily true, because most of our genes are not cast in stone. Okay, and I don't know whether you heard of this term called epigenetics.
Hmm.
So what epigenetics tells us that our genes are impacted by our environment, which means everything that we do and we don't do, it impacts our genes. It will either activate the gene or deactivate it, right? So which means you can activate a gene or you can deactivate a gene. So if you do the right things, you can actually turn that gene off. Theoretically, it's very much possible. And we see, we don't get into genetic testing and all. It's for me, it's a waste of time and money most of the time. Okay, in most cases, very rarely it is really useful. So having said that, you may have the gene, so-called the HLA-B thing, 27 thing positive, but you do the right things for 3 months, 6 months, and you start healing the system, you start bringing the immune system back into balance, and you check you do your genetic testing again. Let's see what comes up.
Okay, thanks. So I think on the stress part, I think the stress is the real reasons for this kind of things, because it happens in a multiple times. It's good for 3 months, and then again we can see the issues coming up again and again. So this is a chronic thing, but stress is the point which I felt that this was the activating point for the constipation, for the sleep disk, or even for the AS as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I can see clearly the difference when I'm de-stressed. The symptoms goes very, very lower part.
No, I agree. Stress plays a big role, and therefore we do, offer some simple tools and techniques that you can start implementing and start kind of managing your system better. See, stress is not something that happens from outside; it's something that we create.
Correct.
Many ways to understand this, but same situation, you put two people, one person gets stressed, the other one remains cool, right? We've all seen that. You've seen people like that in our, around us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not about what is happening, it's about how we are responding. And that is something that we can learn how to respond better. It's very important actually to learn to do that.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Okay, it's already 9:10. I think we should close the session now. If any of you still, you please make sure that you note down the contact details of the team, or you leave your contact details in the chat. We are also sharing the link of our WhatsApp group. If you have not joined the group, you can please click on this link and join the group so that you stay connected with us. Okay. So I guess that's all. I hope we've been able to add some value, some new insights you've been able to glean, and we look forward to working with those of you who are interested in taking the next steps. Thank you, everyone. Good night and namaste.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Within 3 months, pH level can reduce.